The Pentagon has confirmed it. 5,000 American troops are being pulled out of Germany, ordered by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, and this is happening over the next 6 to 12 months. This is not a threat anymore. This is a done deal. And the trigger? A very public, very ugly spat between President Trump and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz over Iran, with Merz publicly declaring America was being humiliated by Tehran, and Trump apparently deciding he'd heard quite enough of that. Germany hosts roughly 35,000 American troops. This withdrawal is 14% of that total, and the question is whether it stops there. Joining me now are Marcus Webb, our defense and security analyst, and Sophia Reeves, our economics and markets editor. Marcus, let me start with you. Is Trump right to pull these troops, or is he handing Vladimir Putin the best gift he's received in years?
Thanks, Emma. And I'll tell you exactly what I think. Trump is not only right, he's arguably overdue. Here's the thing. Germany has spent the better part of 3 decades treating American military presence as a permanent subsidy, requiring no reciprocal obligation whatsoever. Friedrich Merz stands up and publicly calls America humiliated by Iran, while American soldiers are literally stationed on German soil, while American taxpayers are funding Germany's defense umbrella, and he expects zero consequences. That is not an alliance. That is a dependency pretending to be a partnership. Tucker Carlson has been making this point for years, and the foreign policy establishment has mocked him for it. Who's laughing now? What Pete Hegseth has done is apply basic leverage, the kind of leverage that serious defense secretaries use when allies stop behaving like allies. And the idea that this gifts Putin anything is frankly lazy thinking. Putin is more concerned about a coherent, funded, serious NATO, and right now Germany has been one of the weakest links in that chain.
But, Marcus, devil's advocate, Germany only just crossed the 2% NATO spending threshold last year. They are building up their military, and publicly embarrassing a European leader over a diplomatic disagreement could push the entire EU further away from Washington at the worst possible moment. Isn't there a risk this becomes self-fulfilling? And Sophia, what's your take on this?
Well, look, Marcus isn't wrong about the burden-sharing history, but I think he's underestimating the economic consequences of getting this wrong. Here's what I think Marcus is missing. The American military presence in Germany isn't charity. It's strategic infrastructure that the United States itself benefits from enormously. Ramstein Air Base is a critical logistics hub for American operations across Africa and the Middle East. You don't just relocate that capability without cost. According to Pentagon figures, the annual economic activity generated by American bases in Germany runs into the billions for American contractors, American logistics firms, American personnel. And here's the data point that should give everyone pause. The last time there was serious talk of a major NATO rupture, the Iraq War era 2003, it took years and enormous diplomatic capital to repair. The trajectory suggests that if this escalates beyond 5,000, you're looking at a structural shift in European security architecture that markets will price in very quickly and not favorably.
I hear what Sophia is saying, but with respect, that misses the point entirely. Yes, Ramstein is valuable. Yes, there are economic interdependencies, but you know what else has a cost? Maintaining 35,000 troops in a country whose leader publicly humiliates your president on the world stage. You cannot run a coherent security alliance on the basis that no action ever has consequences. If Merz faces zero accountability for that kind of language, what signal does that send to every other NATO member? It says you can say and do whatever you like, and America will stay put. That's not strength, that's weakness. And weakness invites exactly the kind of instability Sophia is worried about. Short, punchy truth. Allies who respect you defend alongside you. Allies who don't respect you freeload off you.
Here's what I want to know, because this is the scenario that should be keeping people up at night. If Germany doesn't blink, if Merz digs in and the European Union starts seriously talking about independent defense arrangements without Washington, are we looking at the end of NATO as a functioning alliance within a decade? Sophia, where do you see this playing out?
The way I see this playing out, and I want to be careful here because there are genuinely multiple trajectories, is that Merz almost certainly recalibrates privately, because the German economy cannot afford the geopolitical uncertainty of a broken transatlantic relationship. German exports, German energy security, German financial markets, all of it is deeply entangled with American partnership. If this trajectory continues toward genuine rupture, German bond markets will feel it, business investment will feel it. Merz is a pragmatist, ultimately, and pragmatists respond to economic reality when diplomatic pride stops working. The real question is whether that recalibration happens fast enough to prevent the operational drawdown from becoming permanent.
Here's what concerns me most, and this is the scenario nobody in the mainstream is talking about. The real risk isn't Germany. Germany will come around. The real risk is the message this sends to the middle tier of NATO, the Baltic states, Poland, Romania, countries that are genuinely on the front line, that have been spending their defense budgets seriously, that have skin in the game. If those allies start to read this episode as evidence that American commitments are contingent and unpredictable, they may start making their own alternative arrangements, and those arrangements may not serve Western interests. The trajectory suggests we have roughly a 6-month window to either resolve this or watch the alliance's credibility fracture along lines that will be very difficult to repair.
Marcus Webb, Sophia Reeves, a genuinely fascinating and genuinely alarming debate. Somewhere in Berlin tonight, Friedrich Merz is staring at a very expensive lesson in what it costs to humiliate the only country standing between Germany and a much darker world.